Hey,
Hi, Mary.
hey Haley, how's it going?
Hey.
Oops, I'm here, Echo. That's me, I
No, it's me, of course. It's
think.
always me. It's always me. We know this. It's always going to be me. All right. Well, everyone, welcome to Food for Thought Friday. Today, Mary and I are going to discuss good fat versus bad fat.
And I'm gonna be clicking forward once I find the page that it's on.
All right. Well, we can do some introductions first if you like. So I will start. So I kind of put Mary on the spot there. Um, I'm a NTA certified functional nutritional therapy practitioner, or FNTP for short, based in Southeast Michigan. My mission is to empower clients locally and virtually to embrace the healing power of food. As a FNTP, I use a deep foundational and bio-individual approach to functional, holistic nutrition to balance body chemistry and achieve optimal wellness. I help individuals reach their health and weight loss goals and specialize in liver gallbladder health and detoxification, with a goal to help individuals keep their gallbladders and educate those without them.
Thank you. And I am Mary, and I'm looking for what I wrote. Which is somewhere down here. So I don't forget what to say, even though I don't need to.
I get it. I get it.
So my goal is to help empower my community to take charge of their health and to feel better. We all deserve to feel better and to be healthy and live life to our fullest. I personally help individuals who struggle with fatigue to increase their energy and get back to doing the things that they love. I am a formerly exhausted mom who now helps other moms beat fatigue and get back to the lives that they love. So in my past life, I used to be a health education teacher in the Yonkers Public School District. I completed my FNTP, Functional Nutritional Therapy program, practitioner program with the NTA in 2019. And I am also the proud owner of I Deserve Health Nutritional Therapy.
Okay. So, what is nutritional therapy? As FNTPs, we approach health by addressing the foundation of nutritional therapy, which are nutrient-dense, properly prepared whole foods diet, digestion, blood sugar regulation, healthy fats, minerals, and hydration. And today we'll be chatting about the impact healthy fats have on the body.
Yeah. But before we begin, I just want to make sure that we all understand that this presentation is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, or mitigate disease or cure disease. So consult your healthcare professional about any new dietary choices or supplements that could interact with your medication.
Well, before we chew the fat, Mary and I want to share with you that thank you for laughing at my joke, Mary. I appreciate that. So Mary and I want to share with you that we will be co-leading restart classes starting in August.
Yeah.
And we are offering 2 classes, Thursday evenings and Friday mornings, so no one has an excuse not to join. You might be asking, why join Restart? Well, let me tell you. If you want to make better choices to support your health, but you need accountability, Restart can help. Are you having trouble losing weight? Restart can help. Do you experience strong sugar cravings that you just can't ignore? You know what I'm going to say. Restart can help. Restart will provide a foundation that will support you in reaching your health and wellness goals. Also, when you sign up to join the next session, we will send you a Restart cookbook so you can start incorporating some of the healthy recipes before class starts. And if you're still wondering if Restart is right for you, it is. Everyone benefits from learning how to best support their body. And please feel free to reach out to Mary and I if you have any questions about what Restart entails.
Yeah, and just a quick answer. We meet once a week for 5 weeks for about an hour, the most hour and a half, depending on how large the class is. And it's just a great program for accountability. You get to have fun and talk with us and other participants, and we all kind of motivate each other and share our recipes, share the things we're struggling with, the things that we're doing great on. So if you're trying to do things and you're getting overwhelmed with trying to do them on your own and you just need someone to tell you what to do or kind of walk with you through that, then that's Restart is perfect for you. So definitely join. Don't miss out. We're not sure when the next one is going to be. We haven't decided yet. So now's the best time. All right. So why focus on healthy fats? So there's a lot of misconception for many, many years, probably since the 1950s or even before that, that fats are bad. Too much fats are bad for you. So a lot of things have become low fat. So why should we focus on healthy fats? So for example, these are some things that you might be saying either out loud or to other people, to yourself. For example, I crave fatty, greasy foods. Do your muscles get easily fatigued? Do you have dry skin or dandruff? If you're eating low fat, definitely want to watch this. If you sunburn easily, definitely want to watch this. Do you get tension headaches at the base of your skull? These are just a tiny bit of the things that make it really important to focus on fats. I'm sure there's like 100 more we can come up with, but to keep things simple.
So what is nutritional therapy? A little bit more in-depth explanation here. So nutritional therapy is not a quick fix magic pill or diet. There's no one size fits all diet. Based on your unique need, we will utilize the healing power of food along with lifestyle changes and healthy habits to assist the body in what it needs to thrive. Through detailed questionnaires, in-depth evaluations, and the body's response mechanisms, we guide and educate you on how to address any weaknesses through a properly prepared whole foods diet to help achieve your health and wellness goals.
Yep. And sometimes supplements if that's needed.
Yep.
So to get back, when we focus on helping someone, we focus on the person's foundation. So like the first slide that we had with the circle, we just want to make sure that it's reminded that there's no quick fix. There's no one diet that's for everyone. So what works for one person might not work for another. Learning about your body and also noticing how your body responds to certain foods is extremely important. So for example, based on like my genetic makeup, I had run a genetic testing and I worked with another nutritionist. And based on my specific makeup, you know, from whatever I inherited down and my environmental factors, too much saturated fat is not good for me. Whereas somebody else can have a bunch of saturated fat and it's fine for them. So for example, if I have too much stress, too much saturated fat, my cholesterol will go up. Even though my ratios, and we're not going to get into this today, but some of you that, you know, are dealing with high cholesterol, you know, a lot of doctors forget to look at the ratios. Mine are in a good balance, but it's still high. And that's because of my genetic makeup and the way my body handles certain things. So it's not only based on fat, it's also other things that are involved. But just know that we're all individual. We deal with these things bio-individually, and that's the most important part. So you see numbers 1 through 6. These are all the things that we focus on. So today we're focusing on essential fatty acid balance.
So why focus on healthy fats? And we're going to discuss this throughout this presentation or discussion. And it is beneficial to the body to make sure that we are choosing the right type of fats. Like Mary just said, not all fats are created equal for everyone, right? So she has to limit her saturated fat intake. And I'm different. I eat more saturated fat because I react to olive oil and avocado oil, oils like that. So those fats aren't as beneficial to me, but there is fats that we want to avoid. So focusing, and we'll get into that, but focusing on the healthy fats and knowing what they are and how they support us and what the benefit they have for our body is crucial to health. And just as the slide says, healthy fats supply fabulous fuel. It's building blocks for our cells, and it helps us absorb fat-soluble vitamins, the A, D, E, and K. And we'll talk about that a little bit more here shortly.
So when we think of how our body uses food for energy, we want to think of fat as like the big fat logs that you put in a fire that burn slowly, they burn cleanly, and they burn consistently. When you start a fire, you're not going to just start it with a bunch of paper or a bunch of little twigs, because we know they're just going to burn quickly. So the fat are like the logs, like you see in this picture, they're going to last a long time. So when your body is in fat burning mode, you will experience satiety, which means that you'll feel like not full, but you'll feel, what's the word? Like you ate enough, like you're not still hungry after you finish a meal. And you also will experience steady energy throughout the day. The process of converting fat and ketones into ATP, which is what our cells use for energy, is more efficient and produces fewer free radicals. These are the things that harm the body compared to burning sugar. So sugar is like adding the little twigs, the starter stuff. They're going to burn quickly. They won't keep you warm. They won't give you steady energy. That's why, blood sugar just drops and falls when we have constant sugar. But when you add fat to a meal, that's what gives you the steady, good energy. Did you want to add anything?
No, that was a great explanation, Mary.
Thank you.
So some of you may be thinking, I thought fat makes you fat. And it's unfortunate that dietary fat has the same name as body fat because people assume that eating fat makes them fat. So reducing it leads to weight loss, right? Dietary fats are required. It doesn't, by the way, before I go on, I need to make sure I say that. Right. So dietary fats are required to absorb the fat soluble vitamins, as I mentioned before, A, D, E, and K. And think of a fat-free diet as a vitamin-free diet too, because you're not absorbing those vitamins that your body needs. And fat is necessary for many things in the body: nutrient absorption, inflammation management, hormone production, consistent energy, cell membrane structure and signaling. A diet without enough healthy fats will lead to a fatty acid deficiency. So fat doesn't make you fat, it makes you healthy.
Yes. And imagine your hormones aren't working properly. How many people are, dealing with hormonal imbalances and issues on top of all the other stressors we have? It's so important that we're getting good fat, the right fat, and all those vitamins that come with it. So low fat options, that's something that's always been popular, especially like since I grew up. I remember always looking for the low fat option because that's just what we were like trained to do. It's common, but it's somewhat deceptive marketing term. Just as with the low calorie diet messaging, this is not the whole story. Its reductionist approach fails to consider the complexities of how our metabolism works. Different types of calories, whether you get them from carbohydrates, from fat, or from protein, they are broken down and utilized differently in your body. So in fact, eating more fat promotes your body's ability to burn it versus if you're eating a only sugar, high sugar meal, it will often lead to unhealthy weight gain. So usually if someone's switching to the low fat diet and they're like, why am I gaining weight? I'm eating low fat. It's mostly because guess what? These low fat products often have more added sugar to compensate for the missing fat. So fat makes food taste good. So when you take out the fat, you got to add something else. So that's usually sugars, artificial flavors, so that it tastes good for your body, but it's tricking your brain. Yeah. So please be wary of low fat marketing claims and choose to eat healthy, whole food fats. Think of a fat-free diet as a vitamin-free diet too. We need our vitamins and minerals, and when you cut out the fat, you're not getting them. So like what Haley was saying before, when you don't get the fats, vitamins A, E, D, and K, they're fat soluble vitamins. You need fat to absorb them. So make sure, and we're going to talk about which ones to choose, because I know everyone's like, all right, now what fat should I have to make sure which one's healthy?
And we'll get there. And we'll get there. But before you move on, I'd like to add that, I grew up also with the low fat mentality. And it was really hard for me to transition from accepting fat as something that my body needed. And so just keep in mind that even though something may seem difficult to wrap your mind around, because fat seems to, you have been taught that it makes you fat, do your research. Like we're here to provide you with the information, but go outside of us and do your research as well. It'll benefit you.
Yes, and we'll have books at the end of this that we recommend and some other resources. Another myth, which is really common, that, not only fat makes you fat, but heart disease. A lot of people think, but fat will give you heart disease. Is this true? Well, Low fat is a common but somewhat deceptive mark. Nope, that was not supposed to read. Let's go to the fact. So in fact, sugar, refined carbohydrates, trans fat, which is fake, hydrogenated and highly processed fats will give you heart disease because they cause inflammation. What you see in the picture in the back, the clogged arteries, all those things come from inflammation in the body, which comes from stress, high sugar, lots of refined carbs. Again, we're going to focus on the good fats, but this is a common myth, and we'll also have resources for you to research. If you're like, no, I'm not gonna believe it, show me some more proof. I'll suggest you some books that you can go to.
All right, so what are the roles of fat? As mentioned before, when the body is in a fat burning mode, you will experience satiety, which will help reduce sugar, which will help reduce cravings. In my case, sugar cravings. That's why I wanted to say that. And it will also help you experience steady energy throughout the day, which contributes to a balanced blood sugar regulation, which is always important. Another role of fat is that it allows the absorption of fat soluble vitamins. We're going to beat this into you. You're going to know that you need to add fat to your vegetables, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to absorb A, D, E, and K. So make sure you add a fat to your veggies so you get the full benefit of what you're eating, right? Like, eat your veggies. If you're going to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And right, so fat and cholesterol form many essential structures in the body: cell membranes, hormones like estrogen and testosterone, and the myelin sheath surrounding the nerve cells. And without the raw materials, the structure integrity of your cells can be compromised. The delicate balance of hormones can be thrown off, and your skin will not be able to produce vitamin D when exposed to sunlight. And we can't forget the role fat plays in contributing to or controlling inflammation. So good fat supports the natural inflammation process. However, bad fat like canola oil, vegetable oil, and the like cause inflammation in the body. And we'll get to that.
Yeah, and just something I wanted to add. I was reading one of Dr. Mark Hyman's articles he did recently, or not so recently, but in the past current time period. He mentioned type 3 diabetes, something that's not really spoken about, but type 3 diabetes is what they figure is the main contributor to Alzheimer's and all these degenerative diseases of the brain that can lead to, other issues with your brain. So, and like what Haley was just saying, the myelin sheaths, that's what covers your nerves. Your brain is full of that. Your brain is mostly fat. So imagine if you're not getting enough fat. So this generation now, we're seeing Alzheimer's skyrocket, right? This generation that we're seeing the skyrocketing happen, they're the generation that came from the low fat diet and the high sugar. If we have type 3 diabetes with this high sugar and low fat, think how much that's going to affect the brain, the way the brain works, and your cognition. Mm-hmm. So that's extremely important. So what does it mean if fats go rancid? So you might have heard this term, you might not have, so I'm just going to explain it. Processed and hydrogenated seed oils are often rancid and extremely toxic and extremely inflammatory. Inflammatory means the structures built from them will also be inflammatory, our body. So they're like also building blocks for our body. Every cell is surrounded by lipid particles. Lipids are basically fats broken down. So the longer the shelf life, this is a term that our restart instructors that we teach as restart instructors, but the longer the shelf life, the shorter your health life. Just look at the bottles. If you want to protect, if you've seen the picture, the fat, the liquid, you want to put it in a dark bottle. All the bottles that these liquid fats are coming in are clear. They're exposed to the light in the supermarket. Who knows how many years that they've been on the shelves in some cases. They're put through these processes where they're bleached, the odor is taken out. So even though, most oils do smell bad after it goes rancid, but these oils never smell. Why? Because they're bleached. So even if they are rancid, you won't even know.
Oh, it's so frustrating. And may I add, if you're interested, check out how hydrogenated seed oils are processed.
Like are there videos
There's
on
a
like YouTube?
There's a YouTube video and it shows the process it goes through, and it's just a chemical process is all it is. And so that made me angry when I watched it. So
Yeah.
just Google it.
I mean, it's like just putting toxins in our body. It tastes great, you know, but
unnecessarily putting toxins in the body.
Yeah.
All right, I guess it's my turn. That's that's a topic that's touchy with me. Anyways. So healthy fats and oils require simple equipment to extract from the seed, the nut, or animal, and they do not require further processing to be edible. So I just mentioned, look up that video if you want to see how other unnatural oils are produced. It's not a simple process. So real fats are going to be a simple extraction process. And these are the fats and oils our ancestors could produce in their own kitchens and gardens, such as coconut oil, olive oil, lard, and butter. And fact, healthy fats are your friends. Damaged fats are your foes. Just remember that. And so we'll, here shortly, we're going to discuss oils that you can heat and oils you should avoid heat, because they all have their own heat capacity. And that's another education piece that is helpful to make sure that you are not using a good oil and turning it rancid.
Yeah. So yeah, like what Haley was saying, if you see this little structure on the bottom here, that's the structure if you're studying like biochemistry of each type of fat. So these are types of fats that can handle being heated under very high temperatures, and they won't change the structure of the fat, because when you change the structure, that's when it becomes toxic for your body. So some examples of high heat fats and oils are coconut oil, butter, and ghee, which comes from butter. It's just a clarified butter. Red palm oil, duck fat, goose fat, lard, beef tallow, lamb tallow. If you're not sure, I've seen like Whole Foods and other stores like that sell beef and lamb tallow. I forgot the name of the brand. Do you know offhand the name of that brand?
Oh, I can see the label
in my head too.
The label, but I cannot tell you what the name of it is.
But
well,
you can look on Amazon.
Yeah, I get mine from Thrive Market. So,
okay.
So that's a place, even just to check to see the name brand of it. That's going to drive me nuts. But anyways, so with that said, I want to challenge you, because you know I'm all about challenges. I want to challenge you to pick one of these fats that you've never tried and incorporate it into your diet for a week or two, however long the jar lasts. Usually things come in jars, glass jars, and see if there's a difference.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of like the food swaps we had challenged them in the food swap, right? I
challenged last week too with digestion. So
yeah,
big on challenge. Right. Well, we need to be challenged to grow, and to be healthy, we need to grow. That's the way I see it. So, all right.
Well, what can we add to the challenge? Like replace toxic fat with one of these fats. So whichever one from these three next slides. So either from this slide or this slide or the next one, replacing one of your fats with one of these.
Mary, this is why we make a great team. Right here. This is awesome. So we'll remind you once we get to those bad oils that you're going to replace it. But until then, let's talk about oils that are good to incorporate into our diet, but we want to make sure that we're not heating them or overheating them to where they go rancid. So these are olive oil and avocado oil. And I like to note on these, it depends on the quality of the oil, that will determine if you can use high heat or not. But my rule of thumb is don't use high heat with them.
You should not be deep frying with olive oil.
Yeah, so definitely not olive oil. If you get a good quality avocado oil, because I have a good quality avocado oil that I will fry things in, but I'm not saying it's not deep frying by any means. So, and then there's sesame oil and macadamia oil. Now, again, for these, you don't want to heat them, or you can lightly heat them, but I don't even advise to that. I just drizzle over something, a salad. I even put it in a smoothie. this is, I remember one of my favorite things that I like to have. One thing I like to do to incorporate good fats into my diet using olive oil, usually olive oil with some salt, is I use that to dip my vegetables in rather than, you know, how people like a ranch dip or whatever. So
Yeah.
I don't eat that. So I just use olive oil, a good quality olive oil, and a pinch of salt. And that's what I dip my vegetables in. So there you go. Try that.
But if you do like ranch and you don't want to give up your lovely ranch, I do have a good recipe that I'll share on the Food for Thought page underneath the video, like a ranch seasoned recipe, and it tastes really good.
There was no hating on ranch. I was just an example.
I love my ranch. But yeah, so it was one of those things where you want to swap. So like if you know you love ranch and you love eating your vegetables ranch, we can give you a better option.
Yep.
And so one thing I wanted to add for olive oil, I think like the agreed upon temperature is you shouldn't heat it above 325. So if you are putting it on some fish, and it goes back to quality again, like
it does. But I'm going to challenge. I'm going to challenge you on this one. Because how many people are testing how high of heat they're using?
If you're baking,
okay, I'll give you that one.
All right. But if you do have a thermometer, you could just stick it in there on the pan.
So I just be mindful of it because. But no, that was a great suggestion, Mary.
If your pan's smoking, that's a bad sign. That means it's too high.
Yeah.
Even with coconut oil. So you want to be careful. So these are the oils that you should never heat. These are polyunsaturated. That's what they go by because of the structure of the oil. And they include almond oil, flaxseed oil, pumpkin seed, grapeseed, hemp oil, walnut, fish and cod liver oil, and any omegas. They usually come in dark bottles to protect them from the light. And they always usually say to store them in the refrigerator or a cool, dark place. So definitely want to make sure that you're protecting these. These are great for salads. These are great for things that are cool and not overheated. I'm
going to try some. I've never tried pumpkin seed oil. Maybe I want to challenge myself to try pumpkin seed oil with my vegetables instead of olive oil.
Or just put some pumpkin seeds in your salad. And you
get
it naturally.
No. I eat pumpkin seeds. I'm just talking about oils in general. No, I call pumpkin seed zinc. That's but just because I'm just challenging people to try new oils, that I'm going to challenge myself a little bit here because I've never had the pumpkin seed oil.
Yeah, we should also, if you're chewing your pumpkin seeds good, you are going to be getting the oils and the zinc and every other nutrient that's in there naturally that came, from its pure structure. Absolutely. So like, obviously like the typical serving size is like a dainty handful. That's what we suggest to our clients and people that work with us for any oil, for any seeds. But, get it from the natural state. If you want to get the oil, that's fine too.
I guess since we were talking about oils, I thought that's.
Yeah. But we can get it from whole food sources. So it's always good to remember that eating seeds, you are getting the oil from there naturally, which is a good way to get the oil too.
Absolutely. So do not eat. I feel like take a screenshot and put this at the background of your phone. Do not eat these oils. So polyunsaturated industrial vegetable oils are processed with high heat and chemical solvents, as we've already mentioned. And these are oils such as soybean, corn, canola, and vegetable oils. And they're rancid when they hit the supermarket. So they're never good, right? And they've been deodorized, as Mary had said previously, that rancid oil smells. However, it's been deodorized so that there is no smell.
Tricky.
Yeah, right. So consuming industrial oils in place of healthy fats and oils contributes to essential fatty acid deficiency and again causes inflammation throughout the body. And they're often they're often rancid, toxic, and inflammatory. That means the structures built from them will also be toxic, rancid, and inflammatory.
Our bodies.
Our cells. Our cells are made of fats, and I think you want the best type of fat to make you who you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to build a house, you want good things in there, right? Like
Yeah.
good products. Yeah. All right, eat more fats. Don't go overboard. Like you want to incrementally add it. You don't want to just add a bunch of fat one day, because if you have gallbladder issues, you're going to be not in a good place. So if you're used to eating low fat diets, if you're ready to start our challenge and start adding fats back in, or adding them in period, start slowly. You don't want to just add too much, because your body has to adjust and get ready. Your body's very smart. It knows when there's more fat in there, and it does need to adjust a little bit if you're not used to eating good fats. So some tips are adding them to vegetables. So not only does fat make vegetables taste better, it's necessary to maximize your nutrient absorption. Again, the ADEK, those are all the things we find in the fats and in the vegetables, and eating it with fat will help your body to absorb it. Also eating some yummy fatty fish. SMASH is the acronym: salmon, mackerel, anchovy, sardines, herring. Even though some people might be like, anchovies are gross, there's ways to make nice, like tuna, like how you make a tuna salad. You can use anchovies or sardines or herring. Yeah, my kids don't notice.
Neither does my family.
Yeah, and if you get the sardines or anchovies, try to get them with the bone, because then you get the extra calcium in there, which is really good for you. And they're also extremely rich in omega-3s, EPA, and DHA, which is extremely good for your brain. If you notice that you are dealing with some cognitive issues, or a growing child, all these things, everyone needs EPA, omega-3s, and DHA. So you want to make sure you're getting that and you're taking care of your brain. Garnishings: finish off your meal with a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of grass-fed butter, or half an avocado. These are all things that will just add to your satiety, however you want to say it. I'm satiated. Yeah. But you want to feel like you don't want to have to like be hungry after a meal. And fat, again, is that log. It's going to keep that energy level even Steven.
I like that. All right. So as Mary said, we don't want to go overboard with the fats, right? Because not everyone is going to be able to digest them properly, or at least at first. So some may need digestive support before increasing fat consumption. For example, if you're eating low fat, increasing your fat intake may cause some issues. If you experience I can talk, I promise. If you're experiencing gut symptoms after eating fat, such as loose stools or stomach cramps, again, there could be an issue with adding too much fat too quickly. And if your gallbladder has been removed, as Mary had mentioned, or is compromised, you will need additional support to properly absorb fat. This is really important. So I'm going to do a side note here. If you do not have a gallbladder, you need to take bile salts. I know we're bio individual. However, if you don't have a gallbladder, you need bile salts to help emulsify the fats that you're taking in. That is something they do not tell you when they remove your gallbladder. And sadly, there's a reason why I'm so passionate about it, because it led to most of my chronic health issues. And if you want more information on like bile salts to support the function of the gallbladder that you no longer have, please contact me and Mary. Mary will be able to lead you in the right direction as well. But if you are noticing that you're having loose stools after you eat, you consume any amount of fat, you may want to consider some gallbladder and liver support.
What is so we had, I don't remember which one we spoke about, like the Bristol stool chart. But so, how do you know you're not digesting fats in your stool? Is there like something you can look at?
Yeah, so if you're not digesting fats properly, now everyone's going to be a little different, but if you see fat globules in the stool after you use the restroom, yes, we look at our poop. That's just what we do. And we ask our clients to do the same. If you notice that, or if you even after you flush, you're noticing that there's like a fatty ring around the toilet, oftentimes that's meaning you're not absorbing your fats. You could have bubbles in the toilet after you use the restroom. So there is different signs, but loose stool can oftentimes mean that you're not digesting your fat.
So we just spoke about the imbalances and things to look for if you're not balanced, but these are the signs if you are balanced. So you will have consistent energy between your meals. So you're not like starving and hangry between like lunch and dinner. You will have stable and healthy weight. Your blood sugar will be balanced. You will have adequate vitamin status. Your hormones will be healthy and balanced. You will have very little inflammation in your body. You will have focus and mental clarity. Your moods will be pretty even, and your hair and your nails will be glowing. So those are all signs if your fat is balanced.
So important. I think it's so overlooked. And I don't know about you, Mary, but for me, oftentimes my clients are fatty acid deficient. And
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, and I think it's for multiple reasons. So incorporating fat is so important. And I hope this helps open some people's eyes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Right? Especially like if our kids or yourselves are dealing with eczema or psoriasis, these are all signs that we probably need a little bit of healthier fats and or omegas or a combination of different things.
Yeah. Another reminder here, Mary, would you like to reminder of the restart?
Yeah. So again, if all the information we spoke about today intrigued you, we do go deeper into this with our restart program, plus a lot more, along with a lot of recipes, support, some fun engagement every week with our participants. So our next classes are starting, do we put the date in August? I think August 5th, right?
August 4th and 5th is when they started.
Okay.
Starts, and we'll give you more information as it comes. But I think Mary's missing the key selling point here. Mary and I are co-leading this together. So if you enjoy Mary and I on these Food for Thought Fridays and enjoy our conversation, just think what it'll be like when you get to meet us in person. I'm just saying, like, have a good time and educate, and you get the perk of having two FNTPs that are going to support you along the way.
Definitely. So we like to just chat. We like to get to know other people. Everyone, people have become friends in our groups before, which is really nice to see all the different things that grow and come from it. And everyone always has a life-changing experience. So if you're looking for that support, definitely, everyone needs this.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're wondering if you can benefit from Restart, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Why haven't you signed up yet?
Exactly. And if you're interested, you can email us and we'll give you our contact information now.
All right, Mary, go ahead.
So you can find me at ideservehealth.com, or you can email me at mary@ideservehealth.com, or on Facebook, Mary Rosales, or on my Facebook page.
All right. So you can find me at Nourish the Root Cause, or you can email me at hello@Nourish the Root Cause. Pretty simple, or just Google my name, you'll find me. So you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, and Mary and I will work together. So if you email one of us, we will let the other one know. So
yes, also some books, like I had said earlier, I promised. These are some books that blew my mind. This was the one we had to read when we were, is it backwards for you? Can you see that, Haley?
No, it's not.
Okay. Well, it's called The Big Fat Surprise. I found it for free through my library audiobook rental. So you can probably, if you have a library card, you can probably borrow it and listen to an audiobook while you're driving. And you might curse out loud a little bit because you learn some pretty shocking things in here. But it's good information to know, especially if you have loved ones or you yourself are not sure that fat is good for you. Understanding how we've all been pretty much
lied to, misled.
Yes.
Sorry.
Any other words?
I think you were trying to think of a nicer way to put it, but just like Mary said, I was angry when I read this book.
Yeah.
So
this is one book, and another book that we read in our class Put Your Heart in Your Mouth. She has a lot of good books. Another one is she's popular for is The Gut Psychology Syndrome, GAPS Diet. But this one's an excellent book. Put Your Heart in Your Mouth if you're dealing with any heart issues for you and a loved one. She gives really good ideas of what you can implement. And one of my other favorite medical doctors, Dr. Steven Sinatra, he has a book on metabolic cardiology. Again, if you are dealing with heart issues, these two books, all of them, are extremely important. These are great. This will lead you down a different trail than most doctors have led us. You know, a lot of doctors want to just put us on statins. I've had doctors want to put me on that. I said no because of, you know, and this is a personal choice. Not everyone feels the same about this, but my part of my philosophy is I want to empower all of you to take charge of your health, not just to blindly follow what you're told to do, because after learning a lot of things that we have learned, we are ultimately the ones in control of our own health. So now's the time to take charge, get educated, do your research. Don't just listen to what you've only been told. Don't even listen to us. Like, if you really want to know, like, look it up for yourself. The information's out there. It's not a secret. Obviously, it can be confusing because you're going to get two sides and you might hear contradictory information, but we'll always give you our resources. If you want to ask us for any more, we're here. Another documentary. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and aside, and if you're not one to want to gather the information yourself, that's what we're here for. That's why we work with clients, because we're able to help give them the information, and they're welcome to always research what we give them. However, we're your source. We can be your source and walk you through the process to become the healthiest person you can be. So know that you can lean into us as well.
So listen to us, but don't listen to us.
No, I mean, I just like you, I want to empower people to be able to make their own choices. And if I can help provide the information that I believe is true, then to help my clients, and that's beneficial to them. But I also explain to my clients that if you're not sure about what I'm sharing with you, please find go out and find your research. And usually if they do, I don't usually have anyone that ever takes me up on that. But if they do, they're going to find that I'm providing them the information that's going to support their health and help them live the life that they're looking to live.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what led us to the NTA. I mean, the Nutritional Therapy Association. We're both dealing with issues that most doctors were like, oh, there's no cure, here's whatever, good luck. And then next, like just kind of being pushed through that whole conveyor system of healthcare. And we both pretty much got fed up with that, which is what led us to look for more answers and, different books. And that's why I was brought to the NTA for myself. I'm sure, Haley, you have a similar experience.
I mean, yeah, exactly, Roy. My own health issues brought me to the NTA. It wasn't because I was looking for a career path. It was because I was looking for health and understanding, because I wasn't getting any answers from my doctors. And they were doing what they were trying to figure it out themselves, and they couldn't. So I found the NTA, and I figured they had the answers for me, or I was hoping that they did, and they had the answers. And I, in the process, just decided I wanted to help other people find health as well. So, or experience health.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is one of my favorite topics. I say this about every one of them. So, but hydration is so important. And I think Mary was supposed to introduce this slide, and I was so excited because we're talking about hydration. I'll let her give you the deets on it, but I'm telling you, I am known. If you know me personally, I've said, if you come to me for any reason and you're like, I have a headache, I broke my arm, it doesn't matter. You're probably dehydrated. So that was probably what happened. So, all right, Mary, I'll give you the slides again.
Yeah. So, when I meet people and they're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, nutritional therapy. And then it always ends with, well, if you can give me like one health tip, like what would it be? And I'm always like, drink more water. See, Haley's doing it exactly right now. Drink more water, drink more filtered water. But that's like the number one health tip that could probably change the health for many people, just being hydrated. So many of us are dehydrated and we don't realize it. So join us on June 24th, same time, same place. We're going to go into hydration. delve a little bit into filtered water and what to look for. We'll just tell you what we use, but we're going to talk all about hydration and why it's important for you, and give you some tips on staying hydrated so the water tastes good. For those of you that can't stand and gag at water, we have some good tips for you.
Oh, and I just want to mention real quick before we end this, hydration is the most nutrient deficient nutrient that we as Americans suffer from.
Interesting.
It's true. So drink more water, and we will see you on June 24th.
Yep, Friday, June 24th, same time, same place. Join us, register, send any questions you have beforehand.
Yep.
And again, we challenge you to do some swaps. If you have any of the fats that are on our do not eat list, go back and look at the ones that we recommend and do some swaps and see how much better you feel. Let us know anything you've kind of learned. Let us know. We love to get some feedback.
Yep. And thank you, Mary, for spending some time with me again.
Thanks for spending time with me, Haley.
All right. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.